would you accept that there's a link between antisocial behaviour, that if antisocial behaviour is tolerated on streets, and it seems to me that it has been in the South Inner City, North Inner City, at least since during the COVID lockdowns and since, that it becomes more and more prevalent, and people then feel that they can act with impunity, and that some at least of the looters and rioters, not all, very far from all, but some of them were mere opportunists who've been on those streets acting with an increasing impunity for a long time. So first question. Secondly, there's an increase in antisocial behaviour in Ennis. There's a recent market building that was a bit of a fiasco, built by Clare County Council at massive cost, and they've no use for it. It's become a place that drug addicts seem to hang out and use, and Clare County Council have had to shut it down, lock it, because there's no policing of it. The Gardaí, because they either don't have, maybe because they don't have adequate resources, but have been unable to secure it to the satisfaction of Clare County Council, so it's been shut down. I think any building in the street of Ennis that is required to be locked up, that's a public building because it can't be policed, I think that has to be a worry. And the last thing is community policing. It's not that long since I grew up, but in the town in which I grew up, there was always Gardaí present. They were very involved, integrated in the community, training hurling teams, etc. I'm not saying that it should be part of their conditions that you should have to train hurling teams, but I'm minded of the local team did very well. There was a lot of celebrations, and one man who was very particularly passionate on the night in question was getting into his car to drive home, and the local guard went up to him. He said, "Are you sure that's wise?" And he said, "Why, Paddy, are they around?" And it's apocryphal, I know, but it's that feeling that it's not them and us, that we're all part of a community, whereas obviously the guard in question could have waited for him to sit in, turn the key in his ignition, and he would have become a statistic in the drink driving arrests. But the more integrated Gardaí are and the more community policing have, the more information that you have, and it's not them and us, and I think that's being lost. I'm not saying that one model suits all, but there is a model of policing in rural Ireland that is being lost.
Okay, thank you. Well, if I take the rural policing model first, it has been my stated position that I don't want to close any stations whatsoever. And in fact, actually, I want to grow that relationship between ourselves and rural communities. Often we're the last person there. Other government services have left, in whatever description they might be. And so I'm very mindful that if we leave, and in fact, officialdom in any shape or form in government is gone, but that local connection is very important. It is a community policing and should be properly protected as such. In the city here then, which is a somewhat different model, there's still 330 members are assigned to community policing. And you raise the issue then about antisocial behaviour. If you look back to the classic work in New York, and that was labelled broken windows. It wasn't about the antisocial behaviour on its own. It was about the environs in which it happened, and that speaks then to us not solely having the responsibility in effect to restore order, etc. to the streets. That's work with obviously the council, but then other agencies then to improve the overall feeling of community safety in an area. Community safety partnerships are part of this new bill, and we welcome the opportunity to work alongside them. Thank you.